You're watching Eye on Africa now here on France 24. Our headlines tonight. Scandal once again surrounds South African President Jacob Zuma. He's under fire over his links to the influential Gupta family amid allegations they were involved in filling cabinet posts. Why do some 5,000 people flee Eritrea every month? Our reporters have had rare access to film in the country and been investigating conditions inside Eritrea. And creative currents from Congo hit the stands of the Paris Book Fair. Cartoonists from Brazzaville and Pointe Noir among the highlights of this year's event. First, scandal is once again surrounding South Africa's President Jacob Zuma. He faced a fiery session in Parliament on Thursday, rebuffing tough questions over his links to the powerful Gupta family. Now, it's alleged the Guptas directly sought to nominate the finance minister and that they wield huge influence over President Zuma. The opposition has called on Zuma to resign, and even a high-ranking member of the ruling ANC said that South Africa risks degenerating into a mafia state.
Once again, Jacob Zuma was on the defensive this Thursday. That's because the deputy finance minister said he was offered the top job in the treasury by the Guptas, a rich Indian family close to Zuma. The opposition leader Musi Maiman challenged the president.
Question to you, Mr. President, whether the Gupta family has ever offered anybody a cabinet position in your term of office as president. Is the president willing to take accountability for the decision and resign in front of the people of South Africa?
I appointed Jonas as a deputy minister. That's what I offered Jonas. I never offered Jonas ministry. That's why he's a deputy minister. If Jonas says he was offered by the Guptas, I think you'll be well placed to ask the Guptas or Jonas. Don't ask me.
My man insisted his question had not been answered. He was then asked to leave Parliament. His party followed him out. In the streets of Johannesburg, there were mixed reactions after Jonas' statement.
Someone who was part of ANC to say something like that against his own political party, I salute him, honestly.
My generation is just tired. We're just tired of everything that's going on, the corruption in the politics is just not the same anymore.
The Guptas already attracted controversy 3 years ago. They flew in wedding guests into an airbase normally reserved for visiting heads of state. On Thursday, one ANC leader declared the party had to deal with the latest scandal. Otherwise, South Africa risks degenerating into a mafia state.
All right, here's more on this story with France 24 South Africa correspondent Aisha Ismail. She's got more on what the fallout could be for Jacob Zuma.
There certainly is a major scandal, but President Jacob Zuma is likely to survive this. Now, we saw how he confidently answered questions posed by opposition parties in Parliament today, and these were relating to allegations levelled against the very influential Gupta family. President Jacob Zuma denied knowing about these allegations, saying that all senior positions in Parliament, in Cabinet, and also Cabinet ministers were appointed by him and by him alone. Now, while some senior ANC members are increasingly becoming disenchanted with President Jacob Zuma, most of them continue to support him and to stand by him. And why wouldn't they? He appointed them, and if he goes, they go. But this weekend, there's going to be a very interesting meeting. The African National Congress will be having their National Executive Committee meeting. Now, this is the highest decision-making body of the ANC. This is the only body that can remove President Jacob Zuma or to recall him. So all eyes will be on this meeting this weekend to see what decisions will be made at this weekend. And no doubt, the political influence that the Gupta family has will be on the agenda this weekend.
The Interior Minister of Niger says the country has been hit by 2 Islamist attacks on opposite sides of the country. They're reporting that 3 police officers had been killed in an attack by Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb in Dolbel in western Niger, and that a soldier was killed in a suicide attack by Boko Haram 3,000 kilometers away in Bosso on the Nigerian border. Next, Eritreans form the third largest group of refugees who fled to Europe, the most from any African country. Our reporters Nicolas Germain and Romeo Langlois were given rare access to the country, and they went to try and find out why thousands of people every month flee Eritrea.
Eritreans aren't used to foreign journalists, who rarely obtain visas. So many of them don't like answering questions.
Can we ask you a few questions for French television? Can we ask you a few questions? No?
Eritrea has had the same president, Isaias Afwerki, since its independence 23 years ago. There is only one political party and no free press. But the information minister says the country is wrongly portrayed in the Western media.
For a small country, we have diplomatic representation in 28 countries. We have many ambassadors here. This whole idea of a country that is closed, that is isolated, or that willfully represents or pursues an isolationist policy is wrong.
One floor below the minister's office is the newsroom of the country's only TV channel.
We have independent information, but we don't have independent TV channel. We have only the government-owned TV.
The UN says 5,000 Eritreans flee the country every month. There is one main reason for this.
How many years do you stay as a military?
Military?
How many years?
Unknown time. That's the problem. That's why many Eritreans go to another country for Italy, somewhere.
But in the capital's internet cafes, where the Wi-Fi is very slow, some young people say Eritreans should stop fleeing their country.
It's better if all the Eritreans stay here and do something for their country and develop it, stuff like that, instead of going somewhere and doing stuff. I don't know.
In recent months, the Eritrean authorities have opened their doors a little more to foreign journalists, especially Western ones. The Eritrean government says that calling it the North Korea of Africa is totally unjustified.
Brazzaville and Pointe Noir are among the cities taking centre stage at this year's Paris Book Fair, with Congolese creatives headlining at special events. Our reporter Ben Barnier met two cartoonists from the region.
The cartoonists of Congo are coming to town. This guy's favorite target, Africa's police officers, at least those who act like Sergeant de Togo.
Hey, Chief, you're not running after the robber?
It's better to let him go. The day I get him, it's gonna hurt.
C'est un fonctionnaire qui a du mal à joindre les deux bouts.
He's a civil servant struggling to make ends meet, so he comes up with strategies to extort money from drivers.
Aux usagers de la route.
My name's Willie the Kid. I am a weapon of mass distraction.
Willie the Kid makes fun of African teenagers, and this one in particular, his name's Takef.
Come on, can I at least get a kiss?
Everyone wants a kiss. We all want to be loved, we all want kisses and be loved. It's an endless source of inspiration.
Willie the Kid was not always into cartoons for teenagers. He used to draw political caricatures until it became too dangerous.
After you receive 1, 2, 3 threats, when you pick up your pencil, you start wondering, should I draw this or not?
The two cartoonists now live in Western France, but they're proud to represent their hometown Brazzaville this year at the Paris Book Fair.
Well, that's it for Eye on Africa. More news coming up very soon for you.
Encore.
Mojitos, crumbling facades, and Che Guevara's image plastered proudly across the walls. Yes, you will find all the cliches here in Havana, but there's more to this city too. As the country faces a period of historic change, we go in search of arts and culture in the Cuban capital. Join us for this special show, from Havana.
Beso a Francia.
Don't miss this special edition of Encore on France 24 and France24.com.